Louisville, Kentucky. Kentuckians streamed into polling places across the state on Tuesday during a historic primary election that withstood a global pandemic and outside worries of voter suppression. When polls opened at 6 a.m., a line had formed at the lone voting location in Jefferson County, the cavernous Kentucky Exposition Center at the state fairgrounds. Those who showed up throughout the day described their experience as quick and easy, with most saying the traffic entering and leaving the parking lot was the most difficult task. Conflict erupted, though, when the Jefferson County Clerk's office closed the doors at 6:03 p.m., just after the announced time for voting to cease throughout the state, leaving a crowd of about 50 people outside. About a dozen voters pounded on the glass doors and shouted, "Let us in." The campaign of State Representative Charles Booker, a Democratic U.S. Senate candidate, sought an injunction to allow the polling place to stay open until 9 p.m., according to a tweet from campaign manager Colin Lauderdale. Kentucky's primary election results. Click here to view. A judge partially granted that request and kept the doors open only until 6:30 p.m., which allowed the group to enter the polling place, according to Norga Bowdy, spokesman for the Jefferson County Clerk's Office and Board of Elections. Shortly before 7 p.m., Booker's challenger for the Democratic U.S. Senate nomination, retired Marine fighter pilot Amy McGrath, announced in a tweet that her campaign was also seeking an injunction to keep the Jefferson County polls open longer, but poll workers were already dismantling the voting site by then. Secretary of State Michael Adams projected Kentuckians were on track to cast about 1.1 million primary ballots, which would shatter the Commonwealth's previous record of 922,456 votes set in 2008, when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were still battling for the presidential nomination of the Democratic Party. If the projection holds true, it would mean nearly 32% of registered voters turned out to vote in the 2020 primary, by absentee or in person, very close to the 32.3% turnout rate in 2008. Recap: here's what happened in Kentucky on a historic election day in the last presidential election year of 2016. Exactly 669,642 Kentuckians voted in the primary, a turnout rate of just over 20%. Because of the large amount of absentee ballots in this election, complete vote totals for many races won't be available until June 30, Adams said. "I thought it was going to take 6 hours," Ashley Edison, 27, a first-time voter, told the Courier-Journal early Tuesday. Aaron Rollins, 35, said he didn't have trouble voting either, but he called it a terrible idea to have only one polling site in the state's most populous city. "In a city this large, voting should be made easier," he said. "It was clearly an attempt to disenfranchise people,"